Hello and welcome to the show. We are here today on Forza Horizon 5 doing some more multiplayer races. For this one we are racing A-class vehicles, however they all have to be fitted with semi-slick tyres. So the tyre compound choice is taken out of the equation for this series of events. However, it is all tarmac races, so all the vehicles are going to be driven on road. I've gone for something a little bit different. I've gone for something that I think is going to be a fairly solid all-round vehicle, the R32 Golf. Haven't built one of these before on this game, but the Golfs are normally a pretty good shout in Horizon games. Certainly Horizon 4, the Golf Rs were very, very quick. In Horizon 5, I'm hoping that trend is going to continue. At the end of the day, they're fairly small, all-wheel drive, the sort of car that tends to be quite quick. I should have good traction from the all-wheel drive launch out. Not that all-wheel drive is the most important thing here. You certainly don't require it with it being sort of all tarmac stuff. However, that's the route I've gone with this one. And I'm not the only body. There's only person, anybody, you know what I mean, shut up. There's an Audi TT that will be similar kind of idea as this one. There's all sorts of other things though thrown in. There's 911s. ATS-V is an interesting choice. That could be very fast on the longer circuits. Countach, MR2, MX-5. You can never really go wrong with an MX-5. We will see how this goes. If the Megane's front-wheel drive, that's brave. I like running front-wheel drive cars in this game, but A-Class I struggle to make them work. With semi-slicks it's not too bad. You might get away with it a little bit on the semi-slicks. But yeah, B-Class and below front-wheel drive is one of my preferred ones almost for a lot of stuff. But that'll be tough. That'll be tough. At some point we'll get underway. If the NR2 and the Countach haven't been all-wheel drive swapped, which is always a possibility in this one, we are allowed, if this one swaps are allowed, engines can be swapped out, drivetrains can be swapped out. We might go racing at some point. As I say, we're going to hopefully get down to turn 1 first. We should lead into the first corner unless anything has got monster power. Oh, there's a Scirocco in here. That might be front-wheel drive as well, I just noticed. We might go at some point today. I'm kind of running out of things on this loading screen because there's a lot of plausible possible outcomes. Oh, here we go. Yes, it is time to do the racing. Here we go. Golf, please be fast. We do launch well. If anything, the gears might be a smidge too short in this for the first... Well, I say too... It might be because we're changing to get to 60 with go into third. That's a little bit awkward, to be honest with you. Now, I haven't got aero on my Golf. This is a choice I've been tending to make with my A-Class cars, if I'm honest with you. Ooh, that's fine. I have tended to not bother with aero. Now, I like my handling builds. It seems to be the way I'm getting lap speed out of these cars. By not running aero, I can keep some top speed. And because we're on semi-slicks, I feel like we're going to have a good amount of grip. I say that. This is actually quite sliding. Now, there may be an element of slightly cold tyres going on here. That section there is where that MR2 may be a little faster. It'll be lighter than I am, and it does have aero. In theory, though, I will punch out of these corners better than the Toyota. We will have no issues with traction. If I put a wheel on the grass, it doesn't matter. And look at the difference in straight line speed, which is gone. Goodbye, Toyota. We can bugger off. Now I've got just under 400 horsepower in this. Nice chunk of power for A-Class. It's not the most ridiculous. Certainly, I've got more powerful A-Class vehicles on slick tyres even, I think. Some of them, but... power to weight ratio is not too shabby here. It's, yeah, statistically speaking, this is kind of solid all round. We are pulling away from the MR2. The Audi is up to third. That TT is definitely going to be one to watch. I don't know why I did not need to break through there. That can be flat. I have got to be a smidge careful into here. That section there, that change of direction is where the back end of the Golf does want to move around, and the MR2 can close through there. And it will probably close through this section as well. We will just be carefully does it here. There we go. That's all fine. Punch out the other side there. Yeah, so the MR2 can really close in the twisty. So when we get to a really twisty circuit, that MR2 could potentially give us problems. So yeah, for like 3/4 a lap, we're faster, and then for the final quarter, the MR2 is a lot faster. But I guess it'll be a bit quicker through this section as well. I'm also, I know where my car is strong, so I know not to do anything stupid. I don't want to slide my car or risk hitting a railing, for example, and get myself in trouble. So it might be taking it a little easier in places. Now we can just extend that lead. I'm not sure what car's up to third. The TT's fallen back. It's obviously got stuck in fights. I don't know why I'm not trusting this car. I guess because when I go through here with it hard, the back end steps out. That's why some of these high-speed stuff, I'm a little dubious about just throwing the Golf into it. And again, yeah, so the back end does let go. And that is the trade-off. That is the downside, of course, of not having aero. If I put aero on the car, we wouldn't have that instability. Jeez, that Porsche is quick. That Porsche has flown up through the field and has just taken the MR2. So we might have to contend with that by the end of this race. It looks like it might be another handling car, judging by where it passed the MR2. I guess we will see as we come over this crest what that 911 has got. So we may have to be defending by the end of this race. And yeah, the final corner is possibly going to be an interesting one for me. We're going to have a little lift on the way in there, it just settles the car slightly. I'm going to be, I think, earlier on the brakes. I think it's going to focus on being neat and tidy for me through there. Is what's going to matter. That 911 is quick. That 911 is going to really make us pay attention on the final lap. Which, I mean, not that we haven't been paying attention already, but that Porsche is now, yeah, a much more serious threat as we come out of the final corner. We've lost the MR2. It must have missed a checkpoint. It's gone. It may have missed a checkpoint in its battle with the Porsche. We have got straight line speed, maybe a tiny bit on that Porsche. Not much, but maybe just a smidge. Alright, slow it down for turn 1. Be aware that 911 is going to look for a way past. We can defend, and if we've got acceleration and top speed on it, we can make life difficult because we can just defend. We've only got a lap to try and defend against it. Now it'll sit in the draft. That's fine. It can try that. It's not as quick as us down here. This is the dangerous area for me. We'll kind of back it up through here because I can just park the Golf through here and make it difficult. We'll defend the next couple of corners, make the Porsche, if it wants to get past, it's going to have to dive through there. Now I'm going to try and, oh no, I've got the front end. The front end just doesn't turn, although we may still be able to just outrun it to the line. The Porsche will come across, but the Golf has the straight line speed here to do it. Ooh, we had to use it. Yeah, I couldn't get the front end to turn quite tight enough to defend how I wanted to. However, the Porsche was compromised through that sequence for the exit, which works for me. We could kind of straighten out more on the exit and use that Golf straight line speed. It is no match, though, for the Porsche in terms of a lap time. Jeez, the Porsche is quick. However, we had a big enough lead early on, and we built that lead early on and, yeah, made the most of our vehicle's strengths. We take victory. Cadillac gets up to third ahead of the TT. Ferrari is in fifth ahead of the MR2. Ooh. Yeah, we held on, but only just. We head off to the Plaza circuit for our next race. This will potentially be, I say, a tougher one for the Golf. It'll have perhaps the punch out of some of the corners, but we saw how quick the GT2 was. We saw how quick the MR2 was when it comes to that the tighter sections. So there'll be bits of this track my car's good at. There will be bits of this track it won't be so good at. We might lead the first couple of corners if we can get a really good launch, because the 911 might get off the line quite nicely. Rear engine, rear wheel drive is good. Scirocco, if it's front wheel drive still, will spin for a while. The Caddy's going to be heavy, so we should launch nicely. I think the Porsche will quite easily have us here. The Scirocco is not front wheel drive, I can tell you that much. That has been converted. Yeah, that's fine though. We will get the lead though, kind of as expected. This thing launches like crazy. I mean, we could have actually come from further back and we probably would have still got it. That's how quick we launch. I mean, yes, it is helpful having an all-wheel drive car in a field of, I guess, obviously largely rear-wheel drives, or slower launching ones. I can get to the lead, and even if I was mid-pack, you know, it's a nice advantage to have. It means I've got to try, I can defend and try and hold on to this lead. The rear-wheel drive is still a very plausible way to go here. We saw how much that GT2 caught us in the previous race, and I think it's going to do a similar thing here, if it doesn't get marred in traffic. Of course, the plus point I have is even if the lap time of the other cars are quicker. We've actually pulled out, you know, I don't know, 2.5 second, 3 second lead. Shame we don't have the times anymore, the split times. More for a curiosity's sake than anything. Because yes, it would be interesting to see. Because yeah, I can punch away at the front, build that little bit of a gap, and not get caught in traffic. The GT2 has done a good job of getting clear as well, and that is now into second, and will be hunting us down for the remainder of this race. And the rest of the field will squabble for. Oh, that's a big curb, and there goes half of my lead probably on that one. Although the Porsche was also out wide and sliding, so that helps me a smidge. Yet. I've seen cars hit that curb. I've just personally never found it before. We have now. Don't like turn 1 here. Always struggle with turn 1 at this circuit. I don't know why I've driven. I like this track in general. I like the track. I don't like the street furniture. It's annoying. But I like this track as far as a challenge goes. But turn 1 I've always struggled. Porsche is struggling a little bit with traction. Now that I can potentially use to my advantage. So mid-corner speed. The GT2 will be quicker than I am, I have no doubt, but I can use my just shy of 400 horsepower immediately as we get out of the corners. I have no traction issues, and the short gears, while might not work everywhere, I can find a gear that is punching me out of these corners. We're definitely going to come under threat by the end of this race. I think that GT2 is just too quick not to. But we may be able to defend and hold it off. We'll see. It's got a good run up the hill. Where is it going to look? It'd have to probably look around the outside here, although it might try duck underneath, because it's kind of a double apex corner. Might try ducking underneath through there, can't do it. It ran out of grip looking for an outside pass. I can't make any mistakes, and that's the difficult part here. No mistakes can be made in the Golf at all. We will have to defend the whole way. Porsche hit some scenery. Good. That's what we need. If we're going to do anything here, we need the GT2 to get into trouble. I do not trust my car through turn 1. The GT2, I mean, I'm going to guess it slid a bit. There was tyre smoke from there. Could have been a little bit of lag. Could have just been a slight slide from that car. We should have probably covered the inside there to be safe. However, I didn't. We got away with it. It's not quite close enough. We are... Oh, God. Get slowed through there. Yeah, this is the section we're good at. These really low speeds. It's low speed stuff where we are strong and we can try and build back up that margin again. Porsche is sliding about behind us. I can't look at the leaderboard. I can't see where anything else is because I have to be spot on with this car. Yeah, we've built the gap up. Longwell's got the caddy back onto the podium again, which is good going for that big machine. Oh, hit the dirt on the outside. Oh, we'll just survive that one. That's twice now I got in trouble at that corner in different reasons. Porsche's carrying great momentum there, but it then just runs out of steam coming up the hill, which then makes it difficult to try and find a way past through here. It's quick, but not quite close enough. And again, we can hopefully pull just a little bit of a gap towards the final corner. I am nervous about the Porsche having a dive here. It will probably carry better momentum through there than I do. It's looking, but then we can outrun it because we've got a straight again. One more lap of this. One more lap to go. Don't make any mistakes if I can help it. Through turn 1 we go. I can hear the 911. It's having a look. It was alongside. I had to tap the brakes because I got on a bump. But it's still looking. It might well have a dive. I was expecting it to have a dive. I left it space. There it is. It is to the inside. But we're now coming into the strong section for the Golf. This is where, if I don't lock the brakes, oh, that was on the limit. We had a little bit of a lock-up. I had to get off the brakes, get back on the brakes. I hate having to do that. It's always a challenge. It's a challenge in any game, especially in Horizon 5. This is a game quite well known for difficulty in getting it right with the brakes. Porsche's looking. I'm going to park it on the apex. We get a little sideways. Porsche's off the corner well. We're still going side by side down here. We've got the drive, we've got the straight line speed here. The Golf holds on for now. We're up the hill. We know we've been weak on this section. I mean, that time coming up the hill was the best we've had it. We know the Porsche is quick through here, but we know it struggled to really do much through this part. We're out a little bit wide, and the 911 is alongside once more. Come on, R32, use the straight line speed. I don't know whether there'll be a little bit of desync. On my screen we were clear of that Porsche. I didn't shuffle it wide. It did end up wide. There was some desync. That would suck. We've hit some street furniture. Golf, use that acceleration. It's going to be another photo finish here. The Porsche is closing. It couldn't quite do it. I think there might have been some desync on that, just judging by me trying to spin the camera around to see where the Porsche was coming. That's a little bit of a swerve as well. I think there was some desync. If there was, I do apologise to the GT2 if I pushed it about a bit. It looked like it was reacting to where my car wasn't, so there is. I get a sneaky suspicion that might have been the case. It's the same podium as the first race. The Golf takes victory. It was actually, I think it was closer there in terms of lap speed, because those slow speed acceleration zones we could really make the most of. Bloody hell, that was hard work. That was hard work. We head off to the Horizon Mexico circuit for our next race. Game continues to be fairly kind. We're back in fourth on the grid, but again, we know we're going to launch quickly. We'll beat the Caddy and the Porsche to turn one. The TT might actually be one of the few things that can beat us to the first corner, to be honest. I mean, this track could, in theory, work quite well for my car, although we might see things like the ATS-V working better here. This is a more power circuit, if you like. More straight line speed required. I mean, it can't be pure power. You do need some grip. There are some nasty corners around here. But in general, if a power car's going to work, this is the sort of place where it does. The Caddy will struggle off the line a little bit, but it does get going. The TT is about the only thing that can match us. We are faster. If we started on the same road, we would have beaten it to the first corner. However, it is fast enough to hold us for the moment. The Porsche has got a good start. It is making the most of its grip. We will reel it in down here. Is the Audi going to have a dive onto the bridge? It thought about it. It definitely wants to have a go. Can't quite do it. We should get the TT on the exit. Now, the Porsche might be able to build up a big enough lead here. If we can't get to it quickly, I think that will just vanish around here. Oh, although it made a mistake. That's not what it needed. It really needed to not do that. It's easy to do on this circuit because now we can suddenly go, let's make a really wide Golf and be the most annoying car in the world. It wanted to duck underneath us. Did it miss a checkpoint in doing that, the GT? It did. I know what it wanted to do. It wanted to duck underneath me and try and find a way past, which is fair enough. However, that was so bad through that final corner. I could have gone way faster. However, I was, perfectly entitled to take my line on the inside. They expected me to kind of wash out wide, and I didn't. I knew it was going to be a dangerous area for GT2 to have a look down there, which is why we covered it. And yeah, in the end it missed a checkpoint. It might struggle to recover through the field, although who knows, it is a very quick car. So we have got Golf versus TT, and the ATS-V is in this group as well. We are faster than the Audi down the straights. In fact, the Audi's really struggling with understeer through there. That just cannot carry any speed on the exit of these corners. We can just get on the power so much sooner than that. I'm surprised. I guess the TT doesn't have much room for upgrades. Once you put semi-slicks on it, there won't be, because we're all on the same compound tyre, but there won't be much in the way of room for upgrades. So maybe that's where it's struggling a little bit. It might have small front tyres, for all I know. I'm not sure. I haven't built one of them myself before, not in this manner anyway. What do they use it for? We used stock ones in the weird catch-up racing, but I think I've built it for something else. Maybe it hasn't. Maybe I haven't filmed it, used it for filming. But yeah, who knows? Whatever it is, it's really struggling to carry speed on the exit of these corners. The Cadillac is clear, and that is now on the charge against us. The Caddy's got rear aero, probably front aero as well. That's still struggling a little bit with understeer in places. This Golf is just blisteringly fast. It's a good car. I didn't think it was going to be strong. I didn't think it was going to be a good vehicle. But yeah, it's been damn fast. It's also been helped by very kind spots on the grid, and because it launches so fast, it's always making the most of them. I think the Steel Guns, the Audi, must have missed a checkpoint somewhere. That's gone completely from the top of the pack. We will just kind of cruise a little bit through that corner. Just don't want to make unnecessary mistakes, because there is the ever-present danger of that Cadillac. Well, and we know we have potential to slide it about, although the Cadillac's struggling as well for a little bit of grip through there. It's just a rocket down towards turn 1. I'm surprised. I really thought the ATS-V would be faster than us down the straights, to be fair. Maybe top end the caddy would beat us a little bit. It's good through that long corner. That is where I seem to struggle the most. That might be the lack of aero showing. But I guess this is the power of not running aero on the car. It's the fact that I'll have less power than that Cadillac, but we've not got the drag from the aero. Kind of makes up for it. And we've still got the grip in the corners. That's, yeah, damn impressive. The Ferrari's up in third for Ewan there. Oh, that's a little wide through that. That's not quite so good. Lombo is close. I've got to be mindful. Can't afford it. It's just we've got to get on the exit. Just built that nice little margin towards the final couple of corners. Third gear is maybe not what we needed through there, but we've still got a big enough margin there for the Golf. It's unlucky for the Porsche. Oh, God knows how fast that thing could have been. We would probably have had another race-long battle had that not been unfortunate and missed a checkpoint, but it is victory number 3 for the R32 Golf. Again, it wasn't we didn't drive off into the sunset. We very much had to keep an eye on that caddy behind us. Very similar lap times. As expected, the GT2 was fast. Nearly a second a lap quicker, not quite. Recovered to 5th. That's not bad going for a missed checkpoint in that one. Yeah, the TT, well, we saw it really struggling with understeer. Just can't quite carry the same sort of speed that we can get out of the Golf. Ewan gets on the podium. We have a different podium this time around. Funnily enough, I am quite liking my Golf. We head onto our next race. Am I a little bit further back? I am a little bit further back in the pack. That's probably a bit fair. Yeah, that's probably fair. We're all the way at the back. Should be an interesting track. It's another track actually. I like the layout. There's a sticky out bit of wall that is a pain. I mean, I know about it. I'm going into it knowing about it, knowing it's going to be a pain in the arse. I'm going to have to avoid it. And Main Street furniture is always a possible to get in trouble with. We'll do what we can. Pretty much here. We shall launch nicely off the line at least. How far up the pack can we get before we reach... Well, turn 1 is flat at this circuit. Before we reach the first braking zone, let's see how far up the order we can climb with the Golf. I mean, the GT2 started in front of us. It will have more traffic potentially to get through, although it's made up a good chunk in ghost mode. I don't know whether my car might be better in the traffic than the Porsche. It's stuck on our outside now, and we've got half car still in ghost mode, trying to give space to. I'm not sure who's in. Oh, well, we found the house. I was actually trying to make sure I wasn't... that was the bit of building sticking out that I didn't want to hit, that we then did hit. I was so busy trying to figure out who was in ghost mode, who was hittable and who wasn't. I ended up hitting the building that was never in ghost mode. Bloody building. We're not going to be winning this one, though. That is for sure. However, we can get a good exit out of here. Come on, Volkswagen. Use that straight line speed. It's a monster down here, it really is. I had a big lift through there, not because my car can't handle it, but because I don't know where Ewan and Speed Beast were going with their cars far slower at a straight line than this. We just breezed past a 355. I do love the 355, it's one of my favourite Ferraris, but it is no match for the 400 horsepower Golf. Although the Ferrari will be lighter, and we'll have a look up the inside through that corner. We'll outrun it though towards the next turn, and now got an MX-5 in the way, which hopefully we can pass, which we do not quite get through on. There we go, now the pass is complete. Oh, there's an MR2 looking. Didn't realise that was there. Sorry, Speed Beast. I was so busy baffled with gear. Yes, Pro. I will argue this case, and I will argue it for every racing game that doesn't have it. Whatever camera angle you use, you could really do with having the virtual rearview mirror at the top of the screen. Like, every racing game should have that as an option you can turn on if you so wish. I so wish that we could have that. And I know does the game have it anywhere? No, it used to have it in some views. It used to be on, like, bonnet view and bumper view you'd get it, but I don't seem to get that now. It should be a permanent option. So it would make things like that where I can't physically flick the camera about. I can't know and guesswork at all time. I can have a rough idea, but it's easy to lose track of at times. And I was busy, getting ready for gears. You run manual and clutch. You've got buttons to be pressing. I can't be flicking the camera when I'm mid-corner, sort of dealing with gear shifts. So just having that would make life so much easier. That's what I would like to see. I've argued it before, and I will probably argue it many times in the future. The GT2 leads the way from the Cadillac at the moment. Could we get a Golf onto the podium? We've got a couple of laps to do it. I mean, it's not impossible as we breeze past Scirocco in a straight line. It is not completely out of the question here. If we get everything spot on, we're trying to chase down the Sierra, I think, and then the Countach up in third. In fact, the Caddy is struggling a little bit around here. The ATS-V not quite working as nicely around this track as some of the previous ones. I think we're going to run out of time. We might get the Ford. Oh, okay, the battle for the Ford now becomes the battle for the podium. As the Countach ran wide and got in trouble, we carry more speed through here. We're going to be able to get the nose alongside. I don't think the Ford knew we were there until the last second. We are not going to get past just yet. We're going to bide our time. I have no need to rush for a pass here. I'm going to be better off leave it and just outrun down towards the first corner. That seems to be the move to go for here. Sierra has got better straight line speed than, for example, the Scirocco had. You know what? I might go for the exit of this next corner. That's a flat out corner, and if things go wrong through there when you're side by side with somebody, you can get into big trouble. Oh, did not intend that dive at all, but I will have a lift because that was I touched the dirt and just lost the car. Did not intend to go steaming to the inside of the Sierra. If I'm going to get this podium, I want it to be, legit. I don't want to crash my way for it. We are better through this change of direction than the Ford. I've not quite got the drive at the moment. It's going to drift wide. We're going to have to send it up here. Yep, Sierra's gone wide. I will say thank you very much for that one. We will cover the inside if it tries to cut back. It doesn't. It slides around the outside of the corner. The Porsche is going to get a victory. Definitely deserved for that GT2. Longbow will take a second place with the ATS-V. We recover from a poor start. The Golf was yet again fast around that track. I don't think it was... I mean, we could have maybe held the 911 behind for a while just because our acceleration would be awkward, but pure lap speed, I think that GT2 is the quicker car. Definitely. Damn, that thing is fast. Yeah, that's a decent, fun race climbing our way back up through the field. We head to the Emerald Circuit for our final race in these A-Class machines. We are a fair way back on the grid this time again. Don't know about this track. Not sure. In general, handling cars, well, it looks like a fairly simple layout. A couple of twisty sections make the handling cars very fast. If I can get ahead, especially of the GT2, if I can get ahead of it, I can probably make life awkward. Again, my car's traction off of the slower corners, where the Porsche is going to be strong, could give it some problems. However, I think, yeah, the high-speed sections like this, my lack of rear-end grip might be my undoing. Or just lack of grip in general. Well, that is the price that I paid. I know that's the trade-off that I'm going to have with this car, with the way I built it. Is a sacrifice I am kind of, am willing to make. Longboat went in a bit too deep through there. But yeah, that's the sacrifice is always going to be with this car. If I put aero on it, I could have sorted out some of the lack of grip issues. However, with him wouldn't have had the monstrous straight line speed. So, yeah, it's whether that straight line speed can overcome the handling, and I suspect now that GT2 is clear of us, I think that's going to vanish. I don't think we're going to have an answer to it, so we might end up now becoming a let's try and defend from an ATS-V, from an MR2, from an Audi TT, and all of that lot. That might be my new goal. Time to annoy a Longbow, basically, because I got to have a lift through here and a tap on the brakes, and the Cadillac doesn't. The Cadillac has the grip to do it. Oh, yeah, I have to have a bigger lift through there as well. The Cadillac's going to have a dive. down here, and it will get past. Can it hold it on the exit? The Audi went to cut back underneath while I was busy fighting with a caddy and clipped the rocks. We got a load of understeer down here, which we don't want, although Longbow's also struggling with grip there. We're to the outside of the caddy through this final corner. Oh, it's ambitious, it didn't quite work. It was sort of worth a try, and then we've got the run down towards turn 1. The Golf is again, we're closing, but we're not going to find a way through here. We're sort of relying on Longbow getting in trouble somewhere now. We're going to close back in all the way through here, but I've got to have a bit more of a brake and a lift through there than the Cadillac, although Longbow's on a little bit of a funky line through there, still going to be well clear of us. We've got to get absolutely wonderful run off of this corner. Now, this is where we might be able to do it because there's a slide from the Cadillac. It can't quite put its power down. Could we have a dive in the final corner? Longbow again gets a big oversteer moment, leaves the inside open for the Volkswagen to have a look. However, oh, yeah, you see that's the slide from the caddy. Here comes the MR2 as well. Although we're now leading the way, but into the twisty sections. Basically, if Longbow can get close enough through here, Longbow will dive going into the slow corner in front of the hotel, and I've been really slow through there myself. And there's nothing I can really do. I mean, I can defend the inside, which I will if I can pull my car across in time, but I have to be slow through here, and the ATS-V doesn't, or as... Oh, come on, like that. Oh, though, Longbow ran wide this lap around. Porsche's gone. Porsche's an absolute monster around here, and we've got no competition. Nothing we can do about it, but we can have a wonderful battle over second place, apparently. And then this is the bit where we can just extend our lead as the Cadillac struggles for traction slightly. Where is that? Is it shoving a nose up the inside? I think it is. We can let it do that, though, because we can now get on the power and we can run away as we head on to the final lap of the race. This is the battle for the podium, pretty much. What order it's going to go in, I'm not sure. Can we continue to slow everyone down a little bit? Or, well, I think the lap time's not crazy different between us. We've just got speed in different places. We've had a good run, actually, through that first corner. Now the tyres are warmed up, we're not so bad through here. Have to be careful through that section. The caddy's not close enough to have a big dive into the kind of hotel corner. Gee, I take it back. It very nearly got alongside there. It was a funky line. Longbow had to try it though. That was kind of the best option because yeah, we can just be flat down there and not have any of the oversteer issues the big Cadillac has got going on. The Porsche wins a comfortable victory in the end for it. Another wonderful scrap, but it's time for second place. It's a familiar podium. We've got GT2 taking victory. The Golf will sit on the second step. Longbow gets the Cadillac onto the podium. Yeah, I mean, I'm a second down. That's not too bad. I'm not disappointed with that in terms of that time. That track was always, I say, potentially always going to be more to the Porsche's liking. If I could have been ahead of it, I might have been able to defend for a bit. I think that level of speed, though, is always going to be just too quick for us. So, yeah, there we go. I like that Golf. I like that Golf a lot. It's just a good overall car. And that is that, pretty much. We've got 3 victories with it and a couple more podiums, so yeah, strong showing. That shall be it, though, for this video. If you would like to sign up to take part in the next one of these, you can via our Discord. There'll be a link in the description. Find the versus the community sign-up section, and you can register to take part in there. That, though, shall be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.